Thanks, Dave. Rocko here in Australia. And you know what's crazy about those land masses is they're full of snakes, spiders, and other sorts of prehistoric-sized bugs that are just waiting to kill you. And yeah, the animals and the bugs are dangerous here, but surprisingly enough, the most common animal-caused death in Australia is by horse. In 10 years, we've had 77 deaths. I don't think the horses kill people. I think it's just horse-related injuries. Okay guys, spiders. Let's talk about them. Yeah, they're everywhere over here in Australia. It's not good. The most dangerous is the funnel web. So the funnel web spider was discovered in 1873. Now, this little bugger, he burrows holes in the ground, funnels his web into it, hides in that web, and strikes at prey or humans, cats, cars, whatever they can get. They're big, man, so their venom, it's a trachotoxin. So what that does is it attacks the nervous system. So it's a bad way to go, guys. Okay, crew, let's talk about spiders. So the most dangerous one is the funnel web. It was discovered in 1873, and that bugger, what he does is he burrows holes, funnels his web in that hole, then he sits in that web, waits to strike out at his prey. Now, they're big funnel web spiders, they can get real big, but these ones, what they do is their venom, which is in a trachotoxin, what that does is it attacks the nervous system in animals. Now, there haven't been so many fatalities lately, probably like in the last 100 years, we're talking about 13 fatalities. Small children are still in danger, however, and small animals, of course, so keep your dogs and cats away from funnel web spiders. Oh, and your kids. He's right there, mates. However, most people think that Australia was empty, basically, devoid of people until the Brits and the Dutch came here. However, it's not true. 50,000 years we've had indigenous people living here. Now 50,000, the scientists have sort of like put a marker on it, but the eggheads now have come up with thermoluminescence dating, which puts it closer to around about 125,000 years. And those indigenous groups had over 250 languages spread across them. Nowadays, we're probably talking about 125 roughly in use, but only 13 of them in common use and not in endangered status. So yeah, there's probably only a few pockets out there that are still using the old speech. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Fosters? No, mate, no one drinks Fosters here. For starters, it's brewed in Britain. Secondly, the most popular beer here was 4X Gold. Now, that was the most popular beer in 2012. You've got other brands. You've got your Tui's, your Carlton, you know, you've got all sorts of brands, mate. But never Fosters. Just nah. Now, we in Australia, we fall into the same category of alcohol law, meaning in which you have to be 18 years of age before you can drink, and you can only buy that alcohol at a liquor store. So you can't walk into Target, 7-Eleven, whatever, and get a carton of booze. It's just not going to happen here. Also, at the football, you can only get mid-strength alcohol. Now, you think that would cause riots, but surprisingly enough, it stops them. Guys, I know what you're thinking. It's Australia, there's koalas in every tree, there's crocodiles in the swimming pools, and we ride kangaroos to work. It's just not so. Unfortunately here, camels outnumber our koalas 10 to 1, and these camels are feral. You know, they live out in the outback and stuff. There's over 1 million of them. The government launched a program, $19 million, to cage and corral and contain the camels, and now we export them to certain other countries. Mainly Saudi Arabia. They use them for meat, I'm told. Alright guys, this one's going to knock you for a sixth. Scientists estimate that 75% of our animal life here is undiscovered, unidentified by man. Now the reason for that is that 90% of our massive landmass that we were talking about earlier is uninhabitable, meaning it's either desert or just thick Australian bush that's full of all those bugs and things that me and Dave have been trying to tell you about. They're just everywhere. You can't live there because as soon as you go there, they're on you. Now this one's going to knock you for a six, guys. 75% of our animals are unidentified by man. Now scientists estimate that that's because our biodiversity is basically unobserved by the people living here, meaning that of the 7.1, I think it was, million square kilometres in Australia, only about 7,688 kilometres is livable, meaning it's uninhabitable. It's basically like a green version of Mad Max with all the wildlife still alive. In closing, guys, I'd like to thank you for joining me in Australia here and hopefully shed a bit of light on it for you. I'd like to thank Dave and the FTD gang for including me in a video. Definitely honoured. And yeah, we'll see you guys around, eh? In closing, I'd like to thank you guys for watching me and putting up with me. I'd also like to thank Dave and the FTD gang heaps for including me in a video. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah, come and check me on the YouTube channel. But until then, this is Sgt Rocko for FTD Facts in Australia, signing off.